Oh boy. That sure was a fun, unexplained vacation. Oh well, time to get back to work, guy. I rearranged my room again recently, didn't I? Oh boy. I think this calls for a new change of scenery, folks. Bear with me for a minute. You might as well start the intro while I figure all this one out. Yeah. I'll meet you guys back here in a minute. Yeah, this'll do. Anyway, let's start off with today's discussion. Now, as I've made very vocal in the past, and I will continue to do in the future, I am a huge fan of the band Deftones. I got into the band around 2003, and shortly thereafter I was told by many people that I should check out a side project by the lead singer, Chino Marino, and maybe get into them as well. That band was Team Sleep. Officially forming in 2001, Team Sleep started with a few friends getting together to make a few jam sessions while Deftones were recording what would later become their first two albums. That's all they were really trying to do there. They didn't even want to form a full band. Now the style is something completely different from Deftones. Now, the influence of that is extremely psychedelic. That's what the sound is almost actually like. And the name itself actually comes from the idea of being in a dreamlike world and a different nature. That actually is where they draw a lot of their influence. Influence when it comes to music usually has to do with an artist that they grew up with listening to. Thus, when they become a musician themselves, they take a lot of influence from that. Team Sleep, however, went a different route. They started going from people more like Edgar Allan Poe and Sigmund Freud, stuff that would actually make you think more to the imagination. The first album, self-titled, would debut in 2005. Critical reviews came out as pretty positive actually, seeing as this was a new step for Chino and his friends. That's about the time that they actually started to break away, while Chino got back in front of the mic for Deftones. Of course, since then, the band has released brand new songs and multiple free EPs, mostly through their MySpace. And it's going to be in this very special episode of Music Freak that I actually reveal something that I haven't told anybody other than close friends and a few family members when it comes to this band. Prepare yourselves, folks. I hate this band. I mean, I kind of understand what it got started out with, and I get the trippy style. I do. In fact, some of my favorite bands use this style. But for me, I never liked Team Sleep. It just seemed like they're trying to show us something bigger and better than they are. It's like they're... Chris, help me out.
Hey, man. Where is the chase and how do I cut to it?
Thank you. I just don't understand what's going on in this music. It's building up to something huge, and then just when you think they're getting into something, it ends right about there. like they stopped halfway through and thought, we got it. What kind of a message is that? Now, my one biggest gripe with this band isn't anything actually to do with the band itself. It's more the Chino loyalists that piss me off the most. These are the types that will sit back and say pretty much the same thing. Well, if you like Deftones, you have to love Team Sleep. I mean, it's all done by Chino, so it's gotta be good. It's just like a Perfect Circle and Tool. Not only is this extremely closed-minded, but it is also a slap in the face to Maynard James Keenan and Chino. Let me explain. Popular alternative rock band Tool's lead singer Maynard James Keenan also fronts the band Perfect Circle, and a few actually other projects, but we'll get into that for another day. These two bands are usually talked about in the same breath, but with good reason. Their styles are very similar. Anyone that looks up Tool followed by a Perfect Circle will find the same mood pattern with one another. It's all the same kind of a style that really makes you want to just rock out and just take out all your aggression out of the world, but still gives you that kind of a feel from Neo from The Matrix. Whoa. And to say that people like the band just because the lead singer is the same is insulting to Maynard as an artist. It's also an insult to Chino, since that means they'll be content with anything that comes out from him. Now, I may be a fanboy and a huge loyalist when it comes to Deftones themselves, but even I can sit back and decide that some of the stuff they put out was pure garbage and shouldn't ever have even existed. When I know a band can put out something that can shake the earth, I just can't lay down and take a mild version later and say it's just as good. Now, I should probably go back and really retake a statement that I said a little bit earlier in this exact same video, where I said, I hate this band. I don't actually hate the band. It's just nothing I can get behind. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get what this band is. It's really just a fun little project for Chino, and that's all well and good if it keeps him relaxed in between sessions with Deftones so that they're not ready to kill each other in the studio like they did when it came to Saturday Night Wrist and almost Diamond Eyes. But I just can't get behind it. Just because the band uses this as a nice little filler moment and something to keep them relaxed and almost like a therapy session doesn't mean I have to buy any of this piece of crap. I mean, I still just don't see Team Sleep as anything to write home about. It's just a sound that gives the old hippie movement something to look back with at nostalgia, and gives people like the non-mainstream rock something to look at and think, that's kind of cool. The problem is that demographic is extremely limited, so people like me are left bored out of their skull, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. What, you don't believe me? Watch.
Go now.
So, as I said earlier, this is just a time holder for Deftones. Something Chino can play in between to keep the creative juices flowing. Also, a quick little pro tip there. Don't ever think about Chino's creative juices for too long. I mean, don't get me wrong, this really gives me a lot of hope that I can see some good writing from Chino in the band. Though, I do see it as only being Deftones that I see the good writing from. But I'll take it. It would be nice, though, if Team Sleep were to get into the style of Deftones. But then again, you can't really hit lightning in a bottle twice, can you? The worst part is the band really doesn't seem to want to get together anymore. Judging by the MySpace accounts and all their little blogs, they're really not going to be releasing anything, although they keep hinting at a new album that, well, keeps getting delayed. From what I've listened to, though, so far, it actually does keep a steady momentum, which I like. Maybe they might actually be able to shut up their biggest critic. Till then, I'm going to go listen to some more Deftones, and I'll see you guys next week.